Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. I feel like shit. I got so sick yesterday. I was a little sick yesterday, and I thought, it'd be okay. I'll just go to bed early tonight and I'll be fine. But by the time 6 o'clock or so come along, I was getting a fever and my nose is just super runny, it's dripping down my nose. It's really bad. So that would be a really awful time to trade. But I can't sleep, so we're gonna at least watch. I'm definitely gonna be careful here. I don't want to take a trade unless I see something that just looks really obvious to me. We are a little bit lower than yesterday, but it still looks like we're within consolidation. So here was yesterday, the area that we traded in, and then overnight we had a push down. We failed to bust through, and now we're coming back up again. The E-mini is kind of coming back. Yesterday was a pretty disappointing day in the E-mini. And then I had this kind of really good in the morning, and then the rest of the day it was just kind of came back to where it was. And now we're testing lowers, so the E-mini may come out and then we could test this lows, but it's going to depend a lot on what the E-mini does. I think we're already seeing them buying it up on the open, by the way. When here we come into what we got going on today. We don't have any news until 10 o'clock Eastern time with the final wholesale inventories month over month. What else? The Bitcoins. Why is BTC doesn't seem right? What's with that? Let me hold on a second. Let's just look at database management here for a second. Oh, FGPL needs to be updated. That would be a good idea. And some absorption there, or serious absorption there, right above the VWAP. You could buy that. I'm not going to though. Bitcoin. So like I was saying, if I can zoom in here. Okay, there does appear to have been a buy event. Let me just look here. But when you look at so this is, each bar is 50 volume. So when we're getting not very many bars, oops, that's very low volume. So we've come down here to the bottom, and it's pretty easily, and we get pretty low volume down there. It's kind of interesting, but we did the futures at least got a buy. I don't think that happened on cash. Let's just look here. The 30-minute chart. Okay. I don't know if that candle is correct. Because now it's 7K absorbed up to 17.5. This chart, it's not done it. In fact, on this chart, we had a little bit of a sell. I think that my data series over here is jacked up because that's the session breaks aren't at the right spots. But so let's just pay attention to this one, okay? If I could get some volume on here. I think it's crazy that this particular chart doesn't show volume by default. Okay, so now you see this. It came down very easily. It didn't take a lot of volume to move it, and we're kind of like sitting right on the edge. So when it gets to the edge really easily, like that, that could be a good sign that, because basically what it means is a bunch of people are going to open up short positions right here as it goes over the edge. We've seen this happen before, right? I think you ever remember when we're trading treasuries and it'll pop up here to the top, and it kind of does nothing, and eventually it consolidates and moves higher, and you're like, oh well, duh, should have seen that one coming. Anyways. I'm gonna have to remember to like disinfect everything in here when I'm well. Because like the amount of snot that I'm generating is just unreal. Oh yeah. See, went into all that and didn't even get the links for you guys. Let's take it that take care of that. Got a bunch of comments, so it looks like we probably need to delete. So it's probably Bitcoin scammers. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Oh, I am super sick yet. I was right on Bitcoin eventually going lower. Yeah, I mean, I was right, but it's not. It is not yet the move that I wanted, right? I want it to go below 6. I want to see it go below 6 and rush to about wow. I think I want to take a short here. Oops. We gotta fix that. There shouldn't be a stop loss. There we go. Somebody wants to go short, apparently. That's a really clear signal. It was absorption and the thing, and now 2 ticks lower. Like, I have to take that one. It's probably gonna screw me over. Okay, let's see what's been going on here. Yep. These people, they post in all sorts of. Oh yes, oh yes. Remove. Bada boom. Man, there was like 5 bots replying to that comment. It's kind of crazy. Okay. Well, I really like this one because, like, it fits everything, almost. I don't know. I'm gonna make a comment there in Discord. So I think this is a little suspicious because, first of all, we're right at the VWAP, so that's right. You know, I like to take positions around the VWAP. That's cool. Okay. We had absorption there at 17.5, and we got a big offer. And then we ticked down, we got another big offer. We ticked down, we got another big offer. I don't know. Man, this is weird. It's okay. I mean, this looks like they're just gonna plow through the low to me. And it's never, well, I'm gonna kind of trail this thing. But like, so we get short at the VWAP. That's cool. I get to put my risk beyond the big orders. That's cool. I've got big orders chasing it down. I got absorption in my favor. They're just plowing through these without much resistance. It looks a little too perfect. So much so that it makes me a little suspicious. Okay, well, we did get to a point where this 15.5 is not turning away. They went and hit the offer, and there's an iceberg there. This guy isn't gonna jump out of the way, I don't think. It's kind of interesting that the 10-year seems to be fighting it. Like, I'm almost wondering if we should take this right here. Like, that's worth it. That's the next step down is 12. Well, ZB doesn't look like it's ready to go yet. The E-mini is not doing anything, although I do think that the E-mini is going to move up. Imbalance continues. Yep. Okay, so there's 5 there. It stepped down, and now, what? This is some strong trend, man. This is like, maybe a little bit like Friday. Okay, well, we need to move it down again. So the 5-year, so the I am so sick, guys. The 10-year, that bid there at 4, it did not necessarily pull away. So we are getting this red down here, but I mean that's 1,000. I think that we're probably going to be a little bit more than the few hundred that it's been taking on these ones. Okay, the 5-year, it's the same thing. Like, we're at the low, but those bids below us are not pulling out of the way. And we did just get a good, like, what, 4 or 5 ticks down. But to see that kind of absorption there at 15.5, this could come back in our face. Well, they're keeping the 3. Oh, and it flipped. And they took a hit in the 5-year. So I think they'll sell that one too. Yep. Okay, immediately 3K stacked. Maybe 500 pulled. Is that how much? How much are we actually seeing pull? Okay. So buyers beat out 4K there. So we are going to bounce off of lows. At least they're not just going to go quietly. So the 30-year is not quite there. I feel so good about this setup that I think I'm gonna let it. I'm just gonna keep it. Like, that was just such a perfect move down. Yeah, we could go back and forth a little bit here at 15, but you know, probably some profit taking here. Okay. Okay. See, the thing here is that you got 6K on the offer, right? Okay. So the 10-year went. These two aren't quite on board. Okay, now maybe the 30, or sorry, the 30 did go. The 30's already looking like it could take another tick. The 5 hasn't quite gone yet. That's sitting down there. Okay, so the 5-year win. That wasn't a strong offer. Okay, but we can reset it. Everything is like lined up a little bit better. I'd like to see that offer in the 5-year stack up, but we're kind of looking like better for maybe going through now. Let's see, there's a flip. 5 years not pulling away. Okay, 210 into 13. It's held for 86 into 27, and it's held. And that's probably going to have to pull, though. Jeez, and look at this in the 10-year. The bid was fighting for a little while, but the offer flipped it. The dance. You should have taken the day off. I sound so miserable. Yeah. Like the thing is, I just used to think that, oh, you just get a cold, like there's no big deal, but like the sinus is so clogged up, you know, like I could feel the pressure up in here and even into my ears, and I just sound like stupid, right? So I probably look like a cancer patient. I still have the camera on, right? Yeah, I still have the camera on. Okay, they ticked up. Okay, and that 15.5 pulled, so I'm gonna have to try and get out here. That was a good look. It could still go through, but I think that um, not seeing. I mean, it was 6 at 15.5, right? And now we saw 2,000 pull. That's not what we want to see. And 27 quarter pulled, so like it's not enough to put you out, but it's enough to make you feel like nothing is worth doing. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not going to work today. There's no way. So yesterday, I I was at work and I was starting to get a pretty runny nose, but it wasn't like too bad. Like I didn't have to blow it or like bother anybody. But I was like, I don't know if I should go to the gym like this, because what if I work out and it just makes me more sick? Because I've done that before. Like it's just gone and then I get so much more sick. So I asked my coach, like, what's going on right today? Like, it's not a huge deal if I skip out today, right? And she said that everybody in the gym is sick, and that we all got it from one of our younger lifters. So I think she might have picked something up from school and then passed it on to all of us. So I'm like, okay, so go home, and then when I get home, that's when I started to feel like a fever and everything. Gym is a bad place to be. When you're sick, you can get sicker or get other people sick. Yeah, exactly. So then, the thing is that it was really hard to blow my nose with my beard. So I shaved in the shower, and I usually don't shave it this short. I probably look like a total slob because I didn't clean my neck beard. When I was younger, I always make fun of people that were too lazy to shave that. And now I haven't shaved it today. But like I shaved it as close as I could because I couldn't blow my nose with the mustache. So now I feel like I look like a cancer patient. Like I have the eyebrows. That helps, but okay, that wasn't good. I'm a little tempted to FOMO out here, but I think that they'll give it to me. I don't know if I feel confident enough in this to go to reverse, though. You're a biological weapon. I look like 90s movie. There you go. You get the hat and stuff. I didn't realize when I was a kid, Moby, because the first time I ever heard about Moby was when he made that song with Gwen Stefani or whatever. I'm like, who's this? I really like this song. And now, like later when I get more into the history of music and stuff, I'm like, wow, that guy was like prolific. Like, holy crap, everything he made was like golden. Well, I'm starting to get worried that I'm not going to get filled here. Well, let's see. There might be like an iceberg here at 15.5. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, there was an iceberg at 15.5. There you go. Do I look like Moby? Like that. Hell yes. The thing about that was that only 1188 got filled there. So I was thinking if I see an iceberg there, maybe I should just pull it. Yep, if it still goes, just get short again. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not in the chat today, but in the voice chat, but I don't think I should bother anybody anyways. A Waddle doesn't want to hear my awful sickness. So this is like I don't know if you there's a potential reversal, but I don't think you want to go for it. It seems to me, I mean, yep. Claps, alligator claps. Okay, so they're observing a little bit at 15. So you got a little bit of a level break set up here now. They could definitely, there's definitely a setup where it could do it. I don't want to take that risk yet. I would like to see the E-mini do something a little bit more in line. So it's been there for quite a bit now, hasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So should I? So there was that movie picture. Hold on, let me bring this back. Here, open image, new tab. Yeah. Okay, so there's Moby. Hold on a second. There we go. So, my ex told me, when used to always say, that I looked like a mix between Eminem and Lieutenant Stapler from Law and Order, right? But I mean, I see the Moby thing too. We got a slightly different face, but I actually think I kind of look more like Moby. Maybe I should get the glasses. So I don't know. I'm still really tempted to go short here at 15. But the thing is you're not getting the stacking at 15.5 anymore. They're actually pulling it. See, it's 18. They pulled from the last time. And these are still pretty equal. So if I hadn't have gotten out there, I could still be sitting on the bid and be feeling kind of like stupid, like I should have taken it off. You know what I mean? And I think the thing that, as of late, that I'm noticing is that it's kind of like, okay, if you're long, it ticks up. How does the market react to it when it ticks up? And then when it ticks down, how does the market react to when it ticks down? And does the market react in a way that it appears that they still want to be long? You know what I mean? So if we tick up and these guys pull, that to me is a signal that some of these guys that are going short are thinking, oh, okay, maybe if it ticks up like that, maybe I don't actually necessarily want it anymore. So I'm going to pull it and wait and see what happens. Okay. When it ticks down, what do these guys do? Okay. So some of these guys pulled. And there was a decent amount stacked. It's not a ton, but it's definitely enough. So there's still some shorts that think that this is going to go through. If this ticks up again, it might start to look very different. Okay, a little stop run there. That's a possible reversal. Okay, so that time we ticked down again. Did buyers want it? They did. 43. And these guys, it seems like 4K is kind of run of the mill, so I don't know if the 4K at 14 tells us anything or not. Okay. So not a ton of pulling at 15, but the tick up was just as good as the tick down. So I would say based off of that we've got a battle here, that there's at least some longs that are willing to step in. Now it's kind of interesting here on the volume. It's actually somewhat mixed in the 10-year. Somewhat mixed in the 10-year. And the 30-year is totally all about going down. But the 10 is mixed. The 5 is just kind of, it still kind of looks like a possible pullback. Okay, there's a big bid right there now in 267. It kind of looks like a buy to me right there, too, by the way. So there was a bubble. There was a bubble at the low. We came off of it. Is it possible that if we come down and we see another absorption, you could buy it? But I don't know if I should push my luck. Okay, so that was a good take. That was a really strong take right there by the sellers. And then they immediately offer 4. I don't want to sell 14 though. Where would I need to put my risk at like 15.5? At least, I think. Yeah. Hmm. So notice this thing that you get in that 30-year. When it ticks down, you see the bids that show up below, like 2 ticks below. It's the robots with their short-term targets. Okay. Still absorbing at 14.5. And now this is kind of like consolidation, down tick consolidation. And we've seen those do both. I'd say more often than not they follow through down lower, but that 14 is even thicker than it was before, right? Before it was 6 and now it's 7. So even though the sellers lost some big battles there, there's still a lot of buyers down at the bottom. So that kind of makes me wary about going short 14.5. You're also getting a pretty big bid in the 30. 1306 now at 09. Isn't that lovely? You love that sound? I apologize. I need to mute the microphone and So another thing I'm noticing, big bit of 09 needs to lighten up. Yeah. Anyways, something that I find really interesting was that when we moved down, at least in the 10-year, the offers above us did not move with it. There's still a 63 at 16. Let's just highlight that. And then there's this sucker. And, you know what, we need to, just that one, yes. And then that. Now, okay, now it could go. Because that 09 pulled. You still got the 5-year to contend with. Okay. Okay, now it doesn't look as good. You just got a pretty good sell there in the 5-year. Yeah, I think they were going for it right there. I think they were going for it, but they did not quite get what they wanted. So the 10-year going to tick back up here. The E-mini might take another look at the lows here, and you might get your opportunity here in the E-mini. Okay. So, did anything change on that uptick? No, it did not. A little bit of pull at 14, but it's again with 4,000 seems to be the standard. So, and it was 2,500 stacked. I guess the one thing I do see is that they stacked 890 in the 30-year. If I see any of these, so here's another thing, is this in these thousands is a little odd. One of them actually pulled. Oh yeah, I think they were going for it. I think somebody took a trade there and it just didn't go through. Ended up scratching. That's pretty, I have to say kudos to you, Lucas, because to have scratched it was pretty smart. I definitely, if I had taken a short there, I don't think that I would have seen it and gotten out that quick. I mean, it could still still go, right? But the case for a reversal or a pullback is starting to look a little bit better, isn't it? Yeah, the book is balancing out a little bit. See, this one at 16 is the one that I find the most interesting, because you get a stop run lower, right? I mean, that's what happened, right? So here it was the 16. Then we got a stop run lower, and it didn't move. And I mean, that's pretty thick, right? So if you're a big order and you want to get filled, you typically bring it down a little bit. I didn't like how the 5-year kept coming back when the 10 and 30 were one tick lower. That's a good point too. I've this right here. Do you see this volume spike right here? This selling in the 5-year. I kind of missed how it happened, but there must have been some absorption into 26 half, and then when they ticked up, there was still 45.56 on the bid, is what it looks like happened. I think I kind of missed it a little bit though. I'm not seeing enough to make me want to take a long yet. Well, okay, now that makes me want to take a long. That stack at 10. Especially if they try and tick down again and there's absorption on it. Might as well. So a little bit actually stacked on at 16 off of that uptick. Okay, well, I don't like that they pulled a little bit at 10, but the way that I got filled was good. And the pressure is still up in the 5-year. The 5-year might actually tick up here. Nope. The 10-year is actually not facing the right direction. Bid is weak here, where it's the offer in the 5 and the 30. Yeah, so I'm just wondering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we get another tick lower, then you get the 11 tick zipper set up. Well, I better be careful with this one, because if I'm wrong, it's going to be on a stop run, so that's never fun. See, the fact that it's the offer in the 5 and the 30, but it's the bid in the 10-year makes me think that this bid in the 10-year is a lure. And they're not, it's just kind of trickling in, and it continues to be 2,000 on the bid. I think there's some guys absorbing on a lure there. Gotta see this 5-year tick up though, man. Come on. This sucker right here, come on. They might be waiting for 9:30. It is. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting spot for the E-mini to start at too, isn't it? Well, I don't want to be in a trade looking for 2 ticks right on the E-mini open. If this 5-year doesn't go through here, I may ditch this. Okay, the 10-year took a tick down for no reason, and then ticked back up, and they've absorbed 34. But the 5-year is not buying into the 30 sold. Yeah, no thanks. Too close. Okay. That 14 has pulled a little bit. The guys that had targets on it went 16. It looks like a little bit pulled there from that downtick. You can see the line there. So something definitely changed. I think that scratching that was the right choice. Impressive even under Cygnus. Now there's 75 at 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, actually. I keep forgetting. The E-mini is about to open in 5 minutes, so we don't want to take that trade. I'll type in here. They haven't, so I should check. I haven't looked at CNBC today. Are they talking trade tensions? No, I don't. No, I don't see anything. Looks like the hurricane is going to be a category 4. So that could definitely be pushing stock markets down. Yeah, that's a Dow set to drop 100 points as investors fret about global trade. The trade war question, I think, after yesterday becomes much more interesting because how do I explain this? The first week of September is always a pretty big week politically because everybody starts putting out their opening messages for the midterms. It's like the final propaganda push. So what you will very often see is the Democrats will have their news push, and then Republicans will go, okay, let's just wait for everybody to calm down, and then when everybody's calmed down, we'll push out our message, because you don't want to be trying to push out your message when everybody's like focused on some other scandal, think like the Woodward book or something like that, right? So that's what you saw this week. Yesterday, Donald Trump was making his case, which was that the economy is doing good, that Barack Obama and everybody else said that we wouldn't be doing this well, and they were wrong. And they wanted to undo everything that we did. And so if you elect the Democrats, we'll lose the economic prosperity that we've had. I'm not saying that's true or not, I'm just saying that's their message, right? Well, if that's your message going into the midterms, don't you think that maybe it's not really a super great idea to be fighting a trade war during that time then? You know what I mean? Maybe, I mean, that's just me. But if your message is, hey, the economy is doing really, really great and we should keep it this way, probably you would want to avoid doing anything that might make the E-mini go down and make your case appear less strong because we're having a market downturn, right? So you would think that they would maybe back off of the trade war thing a little bit. But last Friday, he did say, like, we've got more to go if we have to. So what do you think he cares about more? Winning the midterms or fighting a trade war? I don't know. Well, the 5-year saw a pretty good drop in volume there, but they're still not getting past that 26.5. So I'd say a lot has been absorbed here in the 5-year. Okay, well, sure enough, the first impulse in the E-mini is down. So with all of the buying there in the 5-year, that makes sense to me. Okay. push lower, but there's people buying it there. You're fighting it out. It's a pretty big bubble right there. The treasuries are definitely waiting on the E-mini here. Okay. Well, that looks promising right there at 10. That is a big number there at 10. That's got to be somebody betting on a reversal here. This is a bad place to take a trade in treasuries because you got, look at this. These two are down, or well, these two are equal. This one's up a tick. Looks like it's going to take another tick up. You got an iceberg here. But it kind of depends. I mean, if the E-mini decides that they want to take another step lower, they get bust through excuse me, bust through that iceberg, which they did. They're not hitting into 11, but okay, E-mini is starting to look like they might have done a reversal there. So then 1937, there's somebody looking to go short there, and they got blown out. But these are all up a tick now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If it goes down again, then at 13, the zipper is no longer valid. Okay, they went lower again. My wife just pulled the blanket off of the bird, I think. She's like, "Good morning," and he's just like, "Hello." It wasn't loud like normal. Maybe that wasn't her, because you would think that he'd be screaming if they were downstairs. Maybe she was just upstairs and she heard him upstairs, but... Okay, well, if we had kept that long at 14.5, we probably would have gotten filled at 15. It's like 80% chance that you get 15.5 though, so... I have to say, there's quite a bit of buying in through here. Probably driven by the E-mini going lower. But I don't know. You notice how it's all thick through here in the E-mini, and well, you can't even see that. You can't even see that. Notice how down in here, if I can highlight it for you, it's pretty thick. And up in here, there's nothing. See it? Yeah, well, now you're getting some pretty massive absorption at 15. But you get a pretty big bid at 14.5 too. Okay, so there's the buy in the E-mini. Kind of wish I had decided to take that in the E-mini, but oh well. If it comes back down here, I might take it. That would probably be a better trade anyways. Let's see it come back down here and like these big bids down here. I don't know. The Treasuries are still kind of giving me the "this isn't good action" signal. Okay, so they came back to where those big bids were and it did not absorb. Look at that. 8,000 at 14.5. It's kind of hard for me to make a call on this one because I think that's a valid long signal, but there's a lot absorbing at 15, and you would have to be saying that this is a range-bound action. And the move down here was really strong down, you know? 10,000? Okay. Nope.
Okay. So now the E-mini is taking a slightly more aggressive move up. They haven't beaten the last pivot, which is at 1072 or so, but they are going. And the cumulative delta is starting to turn around long.
I feel like there's a strong disagreement between the 30-year and the 5-year, and the 10-year is kind of in between. Yeah, actually, I do see a little bit of that, because the 30-year bought. The 10-year definitely bought, but the 5-year did not. The 5-year does not seem convinced by this action. The 5-year still wants to sell. So now you kind of got this thing going. Okay, so that, did you see that 65, that 63 at 16 moved up? It's actually now stronger at 16.5. And a good strong bid at 15.5. So that long was right, but given the context, I think that I was doing the right thing by letting the E-mini go. I mean, if the E-mini had decided to just immediately reverse and Treasuries had all gone lower, I would be feeling really stupid right now, right? So this is hilarious because we've got a lot of people watching today, and I'm like super sick. What is it? Is it amusing to you? See how sick I am. Ugh. What's the quickest way to turn $1 into 100,000? Yeah. Go to Vegas. Pretty unlikely to do that, aren't you? There's a couple of people popped in on Twitch. Oh wait, what the heck? I think I misclicked at some point and it put me in a trade. When did I? Fuck. When did I put that in? Okay, it took me out. We're okay. It probably was a good long, but no. We don't want to be long. Okay, good deal. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, it actually went against those 22 ticks? What the hell? When did I click that? Oh, no way. Did I get into that like earlier and just completely forget? Because that was like an hour and 30 minutes ago. I don't know. If that's what happened, I feel stupid. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Ooh, man, this is getting a little exciting to me. I'm still wary about taking a trade because we have news in 10 minutes. But, you've got a pretty big imbalance in here, right? Like, that was a lot of selling. What happens if we take a tick down in these pull? We've seen that happen before, haven't we? I very clearly remember it because I was like, oh god, 6K at 2 prices? There's no way they're getting through that. I'm definitely buying it here. And then they just went pull, zoom. Okay. Well, E-mini's looking a lot more positive. We gotta get above 28.76. So you're probably gonna see a bunch of selling all through here. Of them trying to stop it from breaking out. Yep. I'm down. I'm down with that. Okay, so did trade 5K, but they pulled first. And I have to say, there was a 10K there at some point. If they start pulling at 14, I definitely think that 12 is possible. And you've got... Do I have my risk in the right spot? 16. It did get to 16. So it would have been better to have shorted 15, but I still like this setup. This is starting to look to me like there was two sides here, and there was buyers and sellers in the E-mini hedging their position with the oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Well, I pulled that at 14. That's really good. You've seen the offer stack 2 over 6K, yeah. Now that I've typed that, it's going to reverse on us. I'm sorry, I jinxed it. Okay, well, I liked the pulling, but it's not. They didn't necessarily follow through. The 30-year made a new low. The 5-year made a new low. The 10-year did not. Yes, there we go. Yes. $74 on at 13.5. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Just 16 more. I'm sure you can spare 16 orders, guys. There we go. Okay, I did the right thing, 13K. It could go a little bit lower, but I don't want to mess with that. Got a couple more people watching in Twitch. Welcome, Twitch guys. Just for you guys on YouTube and Twitch, remember that I have the Discord link, and there's a lot of activity in the Discord, so if you haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend doing so. So not only do we have channels for different instruments, so that if you want to trade like the E-mini and so forth, but there's also voice chat, so yeah.
Block cell.
Making a phony market. We are entertained. Great. Okay, well, So the thing that's been interesting about some of my winners lately is that I've seen these big bids, and I've been like, okay, I don't know if I really want to mess with that, especially 16K is really big. But then we always go through it a little bit. And my target was 12, right? So I had 12, and now I've got 10 below that. You know, I should have taken the 12. So there was another 2 ticks in that. Using their bids and offers to create the illusion of a strong market, trap buyers puke fuel for a new move down. Maybe. Yeah, it's so interesting now. What was this here in the 5-year? How much was that? There was a 6K. Oh, there was. Look at that. Look at that. But that was after it broke. That was where we saw this big one too. But anyways, here's the thing. Like we can't know for sure, right? Because there's usually multiple explanations. This is something that really drives me nuts about the market. Is you could know, but I personally think when we were moving up here, that really looked like short covering to me. You know what I mean? I think somebody definitely stepped in there, especially in the 5-year, and created a short covering rally. Nope, there's no way to predict it. That's their edge. Yes, they can create something crazy, and there's no way for us to know what they're doing, but they'll win because they're so big that they can just shove us all around. So when it was right here, I was thinking, well, this could pull, and it could go through. And we saw the guys getting out of the way up here too, right? And the big one, interestingly enough, it was this 63 that's now up at 16.5 was, I think, the best edge in there, because that was the one that it never went away, and then they went up to it. So then at that point, I think that there was 2 sides. I think that there really was somebody bought down here, and they caused a short covering rally, and then they were honestly trying to sell the E-mini. I mean, they really were. And then the E-mini turned around, and all of these guys that had gotten long in the Treasuries just got blown the fuck out. Like, and here's why I think that that's more likely the case than that it was all just a setup. Because look at how strong and the volume and everything, you know? Now that everything is done by algorithms, they're actually easier to trick than humans. When you think about it, algorithms don't experience fear or doubt. They execute if the conditions meet. I'm assuming I'm finishing his sentence, but I think that that's what he meant to say, right? If it matches their conditions, then they take it off. If certain conditions are met, so you have competing market-making algorithms making phony markets, trying to trick not only people like us, but other algorithms too. Yeah. Well, and there was a lot good in that trade, so I don't want to be like yapping like, oh look, Seth got a good trade and now he knows everything. But I'm just trying to reinforce in my mind what it looks like when it does the right thing, right? And to me, that move back to 16, when we ticked down there and this showed up, right, and we took 2 ticks lower, and then what did we see? So that was here, and then we went short at like what, 15? We didn't quite get 15, we got 14.5. I wish they had gotten 15, but I got 14.5, right? At that point, it was like, hey, these guys are pulling. Look at this. They just went right through like butter. And then there's nothing below us. So we go until they find some liquidity. So that was pretty good. Catch. And the thing that I like about it was that there was all sorts of trap around here. I mean, I did get long here, and I was only looking for 2. And think about that one, right? 1, 2, maybe 3. You know? What if I had decided, oh, let's just let that one go? And I could have been caught in that too. So it was kind of like, That's why you got to be patient and wait for a real edge to show up, right? Well, I am seeing a lot of liquidity down in here, so it's hard for me to say if it'll go through that or not. We could totally see 10. Uzi sees it at 10.5. And see this at 13. This thing right here. So you had big absorption and then they pushed through it for 2 ticks. So that says to me that is either somebody taking profits or hedging. Right? So notice how we fell. And then you get this thing right here. So now there's big bids again. And it could be that there are now longs willing to step up. 8,000 is even bigger than the bids that we had up here. But it could also just be another person taking profits. And then when he takes his profits, that just provides more fuel to possibly go lower again. It's unfinished here too, so I think that there's a good chance we could take another step lower, although we probably want to pull back just a little bit here. Yeah. I think that Dead Serve is probably going to make a little bit of money off of that short at 12 because they're gonna, I don't know about 10.5, but when they sell over 10,000, you can usually get filled at the next price. And the E-mini is not slowing down. Okay, that one I would take off, because that was a stop run. No, high of day is... I started trading Nikkei during the Japan session. Is that really slow? Oh, look at these 8Ks here. Those offers look suspicious to me. Look at that. It is the exact. It is. Here's the bids. You had two strong bids above us, and then you came and got this, and it turned around and it went right through it. And now you've got almost the exact same setup over here, right? But going the other direction. You have two big offers below us, and here's a big bid. And now maybe those offers pull and we move up. This is fun, guys. I'm having lots of fun today. Two winners. I think that I would probably just... You know, I wish that I kept this at 13. Next time I think I might hold it and see, you know, when we get that big of an iceberg, I want to hold it and see it go through. But because that was worth at least 3 more. but two winners, two good winners. Actually, a buy that could have been a winner as well. So that could have been 32. That could have been 4. So, but the entries, so there still needs some work on the exits, but the entries were great. The entries were great. And I'm really happy right now. and all of that while I'm sick. So oh, I wasn't talking about you. It was Zerv I was talking about. Zerv was seeing this iceberg at 12, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna sell into that." And he's holding. I think he said 10.5, which I'm a little skeptical about. But I mean, it was good for at least one. Oh, he took it off already. He took it off at 11.5. That's good job. Good job. Man, when you come back and you look at it in the 30 year, that's a beautiful move. We are getting some absorption down here, some distribution, some big numbers here. You know, there's always that chance that they decide to take it another step lower in this kind of an action, but that's why when I start to see those big absorptions, I tend to get out. That one, I think, though, I should have seen that they would want to go to the target. I've just been so used to them being so rangy for so long that I was, you know, you gotta know when to push it and you gotta know when to just take it and run. Bum 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 ba-dum. I started searching for a dead cat bounce gif, and then I realized that I probably didn't want to see the result. Oh, that's great. This is on Twitter. Button traders all freaking out. Okay, so M. LeBron is having the same question that we were. Was somebody super wrong, or was it all a setup? You know, I want to push this. I'm gonna show it in the 10-year.
Walk by.
Ugh. Excuse me. I was telling my wife now that everything is. Oh, no, wait, I already read that one. I thought you said something new. Posting something here on Twitter. Okay. Here, I'll post the link here for you guys in YouTube too. I posted a Twitter poll. I want to know what people think, so go ahead and click that link. Given that we have pretty solid distribution here around 120 and big numbers down here, I don't think there's any more trades in this for us today, unless you're just going to take one tick between 11.5 and 12.5.
Okay. Well, they did actually try trading up into the 13, but it didn't. They didn't make it through it. It ticked back, so I don't think that they're playing the games with us. It's been 17 years, really. China halts licenses for U.S. companies in mid-tariff battle. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. The funny thing was that we made that move going into the news, and I didn't even realize it. So, Jolt's job openings was good. Final wholesale inventories month over month was up 0.6 versus an expected 0.7. Oh, so both of those things were good. Maybe the people were just trading into the news. No one was going to happen, but we didn't. I never saw any polling, so hey, if it doesn't poll, I say it's okay to keep it through the news. Dum, bum, bum, ba-dum.
Block by.
Okay. Billionaire Ray Dalio. We are in the 7th inning of the current economic cycle. To keep things going, the Fed should not increase interest rates faster than the market expects. I agree. If we have like one of those situations where we come into the FOMC and the market is expecting no rate increase and the Federal Reserve increases rates, that's what's going to cause a market crash.
I mean, some of this action here is kind of crazy. Like these numbers that we're seeing and stuff. It's nice to see it so thick and yet still actually moving. It does look like it's probably done. Uzi still hasn't placed a trade. Been taking bigger profit targets than one tick now, so I'm even pickier. So when you take them, are you looking for trends though? That's interesting. Well, as long as you have stats to back up that you can take a bigger target, that's okay. So I haven't ticked 6 ticks yet on ZB. Oh, he missed today's trend because he was in the bathroom. Oh, sorry, man. I don't know. I mean, so here's one thing that I do see that I find a little odd. Let's reset everything. This right here. What's with this? In CB. ZB has the big order right there. 1327 at 142.07. I mean, you kind of have pretty big offers here in the 10-year, but you know, this doesn't show them as outsized at all. Same here in the 5-year. So, I think, given that there's a step in the profile here, if I was going to make a trade, I'm not going to make one, but I think that the best trade that I see is sell 13 and take 12, or maybe 11.5. You're less likely to get filled at 11.5 though, right? And since it's kind of a little bit rangy, they're probably going to play a lot of games with it, you know? But I do see that. Now, the other thing that I see, and this is important, you can't really see the E-mini chart, so I'll bring this E-mini chart over, okay? My bias is still to the downside, but as they draw on, the potential for a decent move dwindles with every passing minute. Right. So here's the other thing that I find really interesting. So here was the high, and here was that recent pivot, and we had a little bit of absorption right there. And then look at the cumulative delta. Cumulative delta it confirms the lower high. So there is possibility. I think that the E-mini could come back to at least the VWAP. Now beyond that, I don't know. Maybe they push down to here, 2872. But I would have thought that they would. Let me clear this. I really thought that they were going to try and push up above that, you know. Like just look at the profiles here, you know. Here, so we're getting a little bit of distribution here. It's just a little bit below where the distribution was from before, but you would think that we would be able to get to here or here even. Like I really wanted to see like 2890 today, and at the moment they're kind of making it look like it's not going to do it. So it kind of looks to me like there's still some trade left, even though the Treasuries look incredibly balanced right now. I really wish that the Jigsaw windows were like normal windows so that they would snap like all of my other windows do. So look at the, I just was pulling up Bitcoin and it did look like that little move up to 6350 was just perhaps a misprint in the futures. Bitcoin hasn't made a move yet. It does not look good for Bitcoin, though. Okay, well, they're trying to hold a big bid at 13. It seems like somebody still believes in an E-mini short. So I don't know, but definitely still downside biased. But did we get the okay? We got more than a 6-tick pullback, so I'd say trend is over. That doesn't mean that there couldn't be another step lower, but I think there would have to be some kind of impetus, like the E-mini moving higher. You know, moving up to 28.90. That would be great. But I feel like shit, and my normal trading time is over. Yeah, so I am gonna call it a day, and yeah, good trading. Really happy today. So I will catch you guys tomorrow.